Saturday Night Live has had some legendary performances by popular artists throughout its now 47-season run. While some of these stick in our collective memory for various reasons, not all of these performances caused that level of anarchy that was seen on the skit comedy show's Halloween episode in 1981. I'm ThinkSoJoE, this is Things You Might Not Know, and in this episode, Fear takes SNL by storm. Formed in Los Angeles in 1977, the band Fear is known as one of the early progenitors of hardcore punk. Frontman Lee Ving has been the only consistent member of the band from its beginning all the way through to today, with various other musicians from the West Coast punk scene joining the band at one point or another. One notable past player was the bassist Flea, best known as an originating and long-standing member of alt-funk rock band the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Fear's most well-known lineup lasted from 1978 to 1982 and consisted of not only Ving himself, but also guitarist Philo Kramer, bassist Durf Scratch, and drummer Spit Stix. Around the time that Fear began to make a name for themselves in Los Angeles, American filmmaker Penelope Spheeris was putting together the first in her trilogy of music documentary films, The Decline of Western Civilization, which was released in 1981. A chance meeting between Spheeris and members of the band as they were flyering for an upcoming show led to Fear being featured prominently in the film. This opened plenty of other doors for Fear in the years to come, including another chance meeting that would put the band in the living rooms of millions of Americans, which either made the band look inspiring or reprehensible, depending on your point of view. Before I get any further, make sure you click all the appropriate buttons on your screen so that you can keep getting videos from Things You Might Not Know. Have an idea for a future episode? Drop that in the comments. As The Decline of Western Civilization made the rounds from critics to fans, the film got the attention of John Belushi, who was a pretty big deal at the time, being a fan-favorite cast member of Saturday Night Live and starring in movies such as Animal House and The Blues Brothers. Being a fan of punk rock, and now a huge fan of Fear, Belushi attempted to get the band on the soundtrack for his upcoming movie Neighbors. After familiarizing themselves with Fear's music and their almost always offensive on-stage antics which tended to cause fights in the middle of their set, producers on Neighbors were appalled and immediately denied Belushi's request. As a way to make it up to the band after hyping them pretty hard, John Belushi booked Fear to be the musical guest for SNL's 1981 Halloween show. Striving for punk rock authenticity, at least as authentic as you can get on Saturday Night Live in 1981, John Belushi assembled a group of actual punk rockers, some of which were members of bands that became legends in their own right, to serve as the live audience for the performance. In the crowd were not only members of the bands The Meatmen and Cro-Mags, but also Ian MacKaye from Minor Threat and Fugazi. Fear performed their songs I Don't Care About You, Beef Bologna, New York's Alright If You Like Saxophones to an extremely raucous crowd who began slam dancing and causing what probably looked like a riot to the at-home audience. For those of you under a certain age, slam dancing is what your parents used to call moshing. Of course, this was a bit different back in 1981, as no one was doing karate in the pit yet, at least not regularly. As the performance went on, Fear, as well as the live audience, seemed to forget that they were on TV. The performance quickly began to resemble what would probably be considered business as usual at either Gilman or CBGB at the time. As Fear played their last song, Let's Have a War, someone from the crowd jumped on stage and yelled "Fuck New York" into one of the microphones. This made executives at NBC, who aired SNL, very nervous, and the live broadcast was quickly faded out and replaced by commercials while the chaos continued. After Fear completed their live set and the live crowd was cleared out, the damage left behind was pretty apparent. On top of the mess that would normally be left behind in a situation like this, cameras, a piano, and other property were destroyed. Adding to that, then SNL producer Dick Ebersol was reportedly hit with pieces of rotten pumpkin. All of this earned Fear a prominent spot on the list of bands and musicians that have received a lifetime ban from SNL. Also included on this list are Rage Against the Machine, Sinead O'Connor, Cypress Hill, and Frank Zappa, so Fear could definitely be in worse company. In the end, complaints to the FCC over the performance were minimal and fines were low, but Fear would forever be known as the band that caused Halloween havoc on Saturday Night Live. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching Things You Might Not Know. If you enjoyed today's video, please leave a like and a comment down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell icon so you get notified every time I post a new video. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and you can see a playlist of Things You Might Not Know videos over here. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time!